Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and have I got a story for you. It's April 1st today, April Fool's Day, and I know there are things being posted all over the internet that are just jokes that you can't believe, and I promise you, when you're done watching this video, you're gonna wanna Google it to make sure that I didn't make it up, and you'll find several different news sources have been reporting this for several days, so it's not an April Fool's joke. Recently, I posted a very popular video called Man Falls Off Cruise Ship, where I talked about how easy it is to fall off of a cruise ship and land in the water. And this is maybe kind of similar, but has a very interesting twist to it. Let me just explain to you what apparently went down. There was a couple in their 60s on a cruise on the Marco Polo, which is kind of an older cruise ship. You probably haven't heard of it. I hadn't either. They were stopped at the port of Madeira, which is an island off the coast of Portugal, and if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll know that's the place with the street sleds of death. You can find a link to that video also in the description below this if you're watching this on YouTube. So, that's where this story takes place. Apparently, they had been on the ship for a long time, several weeks. It was a really long cruise, and they got in such a bad fight that they decided they didn't want to continue the cruise anymore, and they disembarked the ship, went to the airport, and bought tickets to go home. That's how bad this fight was. While they were waiting to board the plane, the woman in the story realized it had been a little while since she had seen her husband. And like I said, things were not going well between them. They obviously had some huge fight because they left their cruise early. She had not seen him for a while and was starting to get suspicious because they both agreed they were gonna leave the ship and go home. And let me just explain something to you. The airport on Madeira is right next to the water. So she's sitting there, hadn't seen her husband, getting suspicious, and then in the distance, in the water, she sees the Marco Polo cruise ship going by. And in a fit of jealousy or madness or frustration, she thinks, you know what? That dirty husband of mine, he's not getting on a plane. He went back and he got on the ship. And what did 65-year-old Susan Brown do in that situation, in that moment? She did what any sensible 65-year-old woman would do in that moment. She grabbed her purse, she ran out of the airport, she literally jumped in the water and tried to swim to the ship. Like I said, I am not making this up. You can Google it, you'll see there's several different news sources reporting this from a couple days ago. Poor Susan Brown, of course, didn't make it to the ship, and even if she would have gotten close to it, how would this have even worked out for her? And a boat with 3 fishermen found her bobbing in the water, suffering from hypothermia, and apparently the only thing that kept her alive was the fact that her purse had filled up with air and she was using it as some kind of flotation device. Poor Susan Brown. The latest article I read said that she's doing fine. She was taken to the hospital and I think taken to the psychiatric ward. Makes sense to me. And that she was not yet available for comment. And you know, I have to say, I know how the internet works, and I think there might be a chance that Susan Brown is gonna watch this video. So Susan, if you're watching this, let me just say, honey, we have all done crazy things for love, or hate, or jealousy. I don't think there's anybody who can't say that they've put themselves in some kind of embarrassing situation out of love. So don't worry about it. You're gonna have these 15 minutes of fame and you'll get over it, and you might even be able to go on some talk shows and make some money, and maybe this will all end up being a good thing. And who knows, maybe you'll even get back together with that guy. I mean, let's be honest, the chances are pretty slim. But hey, anything can happen. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. Like I said, this is not something I made up. If you want to see more videos about cruising or traveling around the world, I travel to popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it was like to be there. I'm not always standing here in my living room. Most of my videos are videos of me walking around Las Vegas or Disney World or some cruise ship or some other hotel or destination. So you can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and I'd be really happy to see you next week. Bye-bye.